Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. So, Candace she surprised me today. She's going on right at 4. Hold on, no. Okay, hold on, just a minute. Okay, so I literally had to just take some Excedrin, which has caffeine in it. And I was like, I might need something sweet to eat in case, my blood sugar seems to feel a little bit like shaky because I've been busy. I slept in, you guys. I slept in. I stayed up late. I slept in. The time change always gets me. How do you like the time change? Everybody's still hating it with me. I don't like losing that hour. Um, anyway, so Candace surprised me. She's going on right at 4. I have a bunch of material to go over with you guys and to discuss me traveling out to Utah, to UVU, to Cowboy Steakhouse. But we will get to that. If you want to hang with me after the show, we can go over it then, or we can cover it tomorrow. But I really wanted to get to it today. I have a lot of good things to cover. Welcome on in. Say hello in the chat. Welcome to Teresa Better Life, where we talk about everything. Although we've been monopolied by, the Charlie Kirk case and Erika Kirk and all of that of everything. Let me know where you're watching from. I want to make sure that our chats are happening because I don't see that any chats are in. I'm not receiving any chats, which is highly unusual, especially because I know we have a lot of, people. Thank you, Cisco. Hi, chat. Anyway, hi, Quimby. I see you. Thanks so much. That's great. Hello from Jeff Bruce. That's my other half, Mr. Teresa Better Life. Hi, Mark. Thank you so much for the congratulations on that. Super cool. Okay. So as I was saying, I'm traveling out on Friday. So to Utah, we'll talk about more of that. But last week when we were talking about, if we think Candace is going to continue, the coverage like she has in depth since, Charlie left us. And then, me saying it seems like it's slowed down. The information coming in has slowed down as we can expect. In that, perhaps she'll pivot and she'll cover things as they come in. But my best guess is that it'll slow down because there's just not as much coming in. I can't imagine she would continue to dive into the minutia like Barron does, and a lot of a handful of other creators who are amazing researchers, and all of that. So I can't imagine her still doing that, but we shall see. But what it did do was it motivated me. Hi, Maggie. Welcome in this afternoon. It motivated me I want to do my part to make sure that we keep this alive and that wherever we can get information. I've thought about this. I told you guys, I think about things and ponder, about it. And then all of a sudden I just make my move. So that's pretty much what happened, and thinking about it. I've wanted to go out to Utah for a while, especially when when Candace talked about Smokehouse. What is that? Cowboy Smokehouse. And I'm like, I want to go out there. So my background, my history is a recruitment, staffing agencies and staffing firms and corporate recruiters and all of that. I've always been one. I was trained back in the day, old school. You don't just rely on resumes coming in. I'm a person I'm a connector. And so if I see someone good, I want to try to promote them. And, I want them to come work for my company. So that has been my history. Yes, thank you, Cisco. She posted, she's going on right at 4. So she's earlier today. So we'll stay if you guys want to hang out afterwards, which would be a really good opportunity to cover all of the stuff that I have for you, all of the content that I wanted to go over. But anyway, so I've been one to, if we can't, especially if in a position that's hard to fill, you go out to, retailers, you go out and you look for those passive candidates and you recruit them. And so that's more of the personality I am, and the mindset that I have as you go looking for what you need. So it's right up my alley to be able to travel somewhere and to really hit the streets and ask questions of people. I'm thinking of UVU, obviously, the Cowboy Smokehouse and Panguitch. Now, Candace said that Tyler Robinson's grandmother, she thinks, lives over in that area. You guys could help me out a lot. I have posted and sent messages to other content creators and people who are more of a research arm than I am. But I'm wanting to know if we can get a name of the grandmother, a vicinity, a neighborhood, even an address, because I would actually really love to go knock on doors. I don't know what'll happen. I don't know if people will talk to me. I don't know if UVU will try to stop me from being there, but I'm going to get as much done as I can. So I'll be out there, through the weekend, and hopefully, depending on it might be exciting to go live, and if it's kind of boring, which sometimes it is, right? You're just asking until you get the right person or people, which I'm assuming. That since I decided to go, there's something in someone or more than one person for me to connect there that I will meet. So that is the old term, if you build it, they will come. I believe it's going to happen. And I think I might get some, of course we're not going to crack the case and solve it. Maybe we will. But even if we did, as we're seeing, they're never going to do anything other than what they've done, I believe. I mean, unless there's some like something critical that they absolutely cannot deny, that I plan on stopping off at the police station over there too. I want to ask some questions, but there's a lot to be done, so my days will be packed. So yeah, if you have any ideas, so here's how you can help me. Is by spreading the word, number one, that I'm looking for anybody who can help nail down an address, a name. Anyways, that would be super helpful from people who are stronger on the research side of it. They'll probably have police follow you around campus. So I'm going to try to keep a lower profile if I can. Who knows if they'll report me, whatever. I'll go to the parking lot and hang out, walk around, take a look at some things. So over the next few days, I will be taking suggestions and ideas about where to go, what to do out there. Because there's more than just UVU, right? The whole town has got to be talking about it. And I think it's probably more than just the corruption, and other people in the town want to see it solved and don't believe what's going on over there. Quimby says you might want to check the white pages for addresses. It is surprising how many people and their addresses you can find. So I tried to do some digging on the name of the grandmother. I didn't come up with the name. That's not my strength though, as far as that goes. So I'll do more digging and maybe I'll find something. But there's other people who are super strong, which what would take me hours to do to research to find, somebody else might be able to find it a lot quicker than me. Dress up like a cool hip student. I could use a nice dye. I was planning on getting around to touch up my color before I go, but my hairdresser cannot get me in. So, I don't know how young I can trick them into thinking, but I will. I was thinking maybe a baseball cap. But yeah, I won't wear my grandma clothes. I don't dress like the typical grandma anyway, but that is so funny. Cisco. Hi, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Just got in, way off topic. I opened up my YouTube and breaking news. Someone attempted, nuh-uh, an assassination on Rihanna. That's on YouTube. I wonder. That's crazy. Why? Well, and have you guys been keeping track of the Britney Spears? So if you're here, please hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the heart next to the chat when you can, if you can remember, subscribe, all of that stuff, hit notification bells, and we will stay, since Candace is going on right at 4, I'm going to stay past her time of being finished so that we can go over all of the information that I have and all of the content that I wanted to talk about with you guys. So anyways, and thank you for being here. I'm glad to see you all. I will be on, I'm planning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm planning on Thursday, although if I run into losing all the time I need to get prepared and get all my equipment situated and all the equipment I need for traveling to Utah, it could end up like it'll be different. Thursday we're playing by ear. Most likely I will be in. So no, I didn't see that. Let me look real quick. That's crazy. And let me make sure how are we on time? Oh, we've just got 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna look over here. Rihanna, what? Rihanna assassination attempt. Woman arrested after Rihanna's. Okay, let me see. Share this tab. Okay. Woman arrested after Rihanna's Beverly Hills mansion hit by gunfire. Why isn't that going? Okay. That's the wrong one. Share this tab instead. Please don't make me subscribe. What the world? Do they not know that news is free these days and we don't have to subscribe? Let me go this.
Be advised, is a good shooting suspect.
This morning, the LAPD is investigating a terrifying drive-by shooting at the home of pop superstar Rihanna.
Is there a unit already following the vehicle, or do they need someone to follow?
Investigators say the Grammy winner was there inside her Los Angeles home that she shares with rapper A$AP Rocky when a woman fired approximately 10 rounds from the street. That 30-year-old woman allegedly drove up to the residence with an AR-style rifle, opened fire Sunday afternoon at 1:15. At least 4 bullet holes can be seen having pierced the gate. A neighboring garage was also allegedly struck by bullets. No injuries were reported. Rihanna is not commenting at this time. The name of the woman who allegedly fired the shots has not been released. She allegedly sped away in a white Tesla. Authorities saying they took her into custody minutes later.
They have the vehicle. Driver is out on his knees. They're approaching the vehicle now.
That quiet tree-lined street is now blocked off with crime scene tape as the LAPD's robbery homicide unit combs through the home and surrounding areas for evidence. Police are not providing a motive at this time. It's not clear if hip-hop star A$AP Rocky or the couple's 3 children were home when the shots were fired.
And that suspect was taken into custody in the parking garage of a nearby shopping center. Investigators have not yet made clear if the suspect even knew that this was Rihanna's house. Thankfully, no one was reported hurt. Guys, we are.
Wow, that's crazy. People are nuts. People are nuts. Should I wear a protective vest? Hi, Joy. That's crazy. Welcome in. Remember to hit the thumbs up, please, like, subscribe, and we'll catch up. So since Candace is going on early, I'll just do everything that I've prepared after the show. Hopefully y'all can stick around. That'd be amazing because I've got a lot of good material and questions. And just like I suspected, I took Excedrin, you guys, and I said my blood sugar might be feeling a little wonky because it has caffeine, and I took 3 of them. So, yeah. Let's go. Where are we? So I'm going to eat candy. I don't like to eat in front of people. Like, I think it's annoying to hear people eat and watch them eat. So I don't like to do it to others. So I apologize, but I need like just straight sugar. So anyway, here we go. The first casualty of war. We've got Candace. Let's get her queued up. And, That won't expand until she actually turns her feed on. So what time do we have? Okay. So anyway, so we'll cover all that. We'll talk more about my travels to Utah on Friday and see what we can all figure out together where to send me. Send me. I will go. Anyway, I'm really excited because this is just who I am. I am a person to just get right to it. Like instead of going around things, I'm like, give me a direct line. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And I'm sure it'll be safe. Actually, I had somebody on X who volunteered to like be a friend in the area. They live 30 minutes north of Salt Lake City. So they offered to be there in a capacity for support or safety if I should need it. I'm thinking it'll be fine. It's just me. It's just little old me, right? Hold on. You can see in the video of the Kirk event at UVU, you can see at least 30 cell phones pointed at Kirk. But I know we only have 10 videos or so for social media. And like, they're just going like replaying the same stuff. Where are all the videos? That's a good question. I want to know, what are people talking about? What are the rumors going around the school? Around the town? What are they saying? How are they feeling about all of it? That's what I'm more of one, like more than research. I can do some research, but I'm more of like, I want to talk to people and get in there and see what's going on from that perspective. So as soon as Candace goes on, I'll excuse myself and go get some juice so I can get some liquid sugar in my body. Anyway, I'm excited. And if I go live, that'll be exciting for you guys to like be a part of that if that happens. Yeah, it just depends. I don't know. I've never done anything like this. The most, the closest I've ever come, like I said, is going into say like, there was one time there was a company I was working for and they had a hard to fill position for managers. And it was a retail position, retail salaried position. And the market was dry. So I went in two departments into grocery stores and I spoke directly to managers. I'd just go up to them. Well, if I thought they were great, I would go shopping, look at how they're interacting with and engaging with customers and all that. I wasn't afraid just to go up and give them my business card and say, hey, give me a call. Same with calling them on the phone. I don't have a problem with that. Let's see, Cisco. I like ice cream sandwiches to increase my blood sugar. That sounds really good. I love ice cream sandwiches very much. And I'm actually really feeling it right now. And I think there's nobody here to bring me something right now. So my husband, Jeff, you'll see him in the chat. He turns on the show and listens while he's working, but he's usually working, so can't excuse himself. But since we're going on after Candace to go over all the material I have and to talk more about the traveling to Utah, he will most likely be able to participate. Thank you. I will refresh my thing. I have all the chats go on here, or I can see all the chats. But still hasn't started. Has it started for you? Hi, fearlessly phoenixing. Thank you so much. Oh, somebody, he heard me and he brought me an orange juice. That's awesome. It hasn't started yet on my computer. Anyways, I saw your comment the last stream saying that you love my decor and the colors. And I didn't see that comment when we were going. So thank you. You should have seen it. It was before we changed it and changed the color. It was really an orangish, like very yucky color. But we got around to decorating it and painting it. My husband helped me. So I really love that color. And in fact, I loved it so much. I put it as an accent wall in my living room, which if I ever post some of the things that we're doing, like karaoke, just for fun, so you guys can see, you'll see that wall. And if you like are on my Instagram or anything else where I make reels, you can see it there too. But I love the color. That blue is amazing. Anyways. Okay, good. It hasn't started for you, Michelle. Good. I saw a video of Tyler Boyer in Russia. Was that on YouTube? Again, I really apologize for drinking and like trying to eat some stuff here. I don't like to do that because for me, it's really annoying. Literally could drive me to hurt somebody physically to hear them eat or swallow on X. I'll have to look that up. There I have some a little bit of Tyler Boyer stuff like to cover after the show. So Fearless, I am staying on after Candace to talk about all the content that I have to go over with you guys, since she's like on time and doing a 4:00 stream. We are doing my part afterwards. Cisco, I'm sitting here eating. So when we were in COVID, or we had hold on. Or we had like Zoom meetings for my company, and that people would eat in the background. I hated it. I'm like, really? Just go off camera, please, first. Like, I just don't want to. So I hate doing this in front of you, but it's I don't want to pass out here. And since I slept in literally till 10:30 and I was really short on time for everything I needed to get done today, that's my own fault. I didn't think I needed an alarm. I usually, my body just wakes up, and so I didn't set an alarm. And of course, isn't that always the way it happened? You can always wake up at a certain time, and then the minute you're like, I'll be fine, and you don't do it, then your body just says, okay, cool, we'll just sleep in. But I went to bed at see here's how I made it okay in my head. I went to bed at 3 a.m. Because I was looking at other people's contents. I was doing research. And I'm like, well, with the time change, it's really just 2. So I'm not really up till 3 a.m., which sometimes, depending on what I'm digging into, I can stay up till 4 or 5 and then get up the next day by 7 o'clock still and function okay, according to me. But yeah, so that's how I was like, I rationalized it. I'm really going to bed at 2, the time change and all of that. So my body didn't want to cooperate and listen to that. So it really believed it was, 3 a.m. It's like, it's 3 a.m. and I'm still tired. So I'm just going to do this while I'm talking to you, and she's still not on. So I wonder how much of Erika she's still going to cover in this broadcast. Because it looks like I'm gonna wait. Like there's something, I don't know if you guys are on X, but there was a post of hers that she made, and I was gonna go over that too, of telling service people that they don't actually have to go to war if they don't want to. If like I guess there's help, which I didn't know. They can turn down orders of going to war. So if they don't support the war with Iran, they can decline, and there's help and legal paths for them to take. I wonder if they would just dishonorably discharge anybody who wanted to go, or if you would have to actually get into a legal battle to not lose your benefits and all of that. Would you go? If you have family members in the military, how do you feel about refusing to go? Like, would you if it were my child or my husband, I'd say I'm all for saying don't go. I wouldn't, but I don't know what happens to people if they decide not to. I don't know what that looks like, because that would be scary. If you're supporting your family, that's how you support yourself, and then you lose that. It's just like quitting your job, right? It's just my chats have stopped. I want to make sure I don't miss Candace. Okay, good. She's still not on. Oh, she's going to make us linger here a little bit. I'll show you. Well, since we're waiting for her, and this is really short, I'll just show you this. No, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to risk it. Forget it. I'll just show you when I had planned to show you. Because I don't want to risk like anything happening. Like I would click out or something and then it not like load up right away. Oh, so it did anyways. I said no. Remove. I said no. Okay, that's not. See, just like that. I can't be trusted with the technology, you guys. I cannot be. Okay. Cisco says the war on Iran is not an American interest. It isn't. It just simply isn't. And I don't. We can't just keep saying yes to everything and letting these guys run the show. When we start knowing better than the administration, there's a problem when we can see we can see more clearly than them. Granted, we don't have all the information, but I was watching somebody or listening to it when I was preparing for the show. I was, was it Alex Jones? Of course, he was saying, his part. His advice, of course, was not to go. But I'm thinking, when the majority of society understands things better than what you're understanding them, and there's a problem. There's a problem. That means you people are not qualified to be there, and you shouldn't be there because you don't care about. You're not America first. Bottom line. Okay, I'm gonna put myself off screen for a second, guys, so I can take a nice big swig, and you guys don't have to see. Okay. Okay. So I did. I took a nice big swig. What else can I talk to you about that I don't have to, that I can do real well? Britney Spears. The Britney Spears of all of it. Did you guys follow it when she was first under the conservatory, the conservatorship, and they were in control of everything in her life, which was awful. Her poor, I feel so bad for her. So did you see that she was arrested for driving under the influence the other day? And so now they're talking about there could be a possibility of her going under a conservatorship again, when it was her case that really brought it up front for us and made it visible, like what these things, that this is a racket. Like that whole thing is a racket. Not just her case, but other people's cases. Who was that talk show host? Wendy. I can't remember her last name, but she's under a conservatorship, and like all of that, taking somebody legally.
The topic of witchcraft and spell casting, it's reserved really for the category of fantasy.
What happened?
It's fantasy if they're discussing it, or it's being mocked. Hocus Pocus or Harry Potter, really.
Yeah, Wendy
what sort
Williams.
of crazy person would believe that ancient pagan practices are still
What's
happening
going on?
in the real world? Okay, maybe in some remote third world village in Africa, but in the developed Western world, at the tippity top of government, you would be mad to even suggest.
Did that happen for you guys too? It just all of a sudden came on with her in between. I wonder if something happened on their end.
Even when it's actually in our faces. Take, for example, this recent Paris fashion show collection from a brand known as Materiel Fécal. Just so you know, that translates to
it was on their end then.
Fecal matter. Wow. Must have really been an inspired show. Fecal matter. Wow. No, so in your face, but don't you take it the next step further and think that, these people could be into some dark stuff. That would make you, again, a crazy person. What about the much celebrated visual artist to the stars, the Serbian one? She's also an artist to the politicians. She does spirit cooking, literally. That was what was in those emails. Marina Abramovic. She puts on performances in front of the most powerful people in the world. Performances like in 1974, when she sought to, quote, re-evoke the energy of extreme bodily pain using a large petroleum-drenched pentagram, which the artist lit on fire at the start of the performance. Standing outside of the pentagram, Abramovic cut her nails, her toenails, and her hair. When she finished with each, she threw the clippings into the flames, creating a burst of light each time, burning the pentagram, representing a physical and mental purification. Oh, that's just art, guys. That's just art. Don't you think a step further? No, come on, that's just art. And on the matter of science, even when it's in our faces, like when the world's leading nuclear physicists are caught, cloaked before a statue of Shiva, stabbing a woman in an occult ceremony for CERN, well, you guys, that's just science. That right there that you are looking at on your screens was science, the best science, the best that science has to offer, the most ingenious people. And indeed, I would agree that it's modern science. In fact,
I think it was on her end, guys, because I just used my phone to rewind it and it just like started. So darn, she missed like 15 minutes.
the entire thrust of what was deemed the scientific revolution, a move away from the natural order of things and towards empiricism, rationality, that began because of a long organized Freemasonic effort to remove humanity from our innate spiritual understanding. Okay. They wanted you to know that you can now ignore your God-given instincts. You can set aside your subconscious, that subconscious that comes online and lets you know that something is not right. Yeah, you can just set that aside and trust the experts instead. In fact, the experts constantly reinforce to us that our subconscious is wrong, or it's just weird. And in some cases, it's immoral, it's devilish even. You want to go see your grandmother while she's dying in the middle of COVID? What are you, Satan? You're being guided by Satan. If you don't listen to Dr. Fauci, that's who you're being guided by, because there's no greater source of authority in their world than the government, which they control. That's the idea. And I promise you on everything, that when Savannah, my manager, came down the stairs and delivered the news that Charlie had been shot, I went into my husband's office and I cried, and I immediately said to him, he was betrayed. Charlie was betrayed. And my husband said back to me, you don't know that. We don't know anything yet. And I said, I know. Now, empirically, that argument fails. I get it. But no one can explain why or how I had the sense of dread in the very week leading up to Charlie's assassination. No one can offer why I knew that there was danger coming specifically to a school, and why I felt that it was related to bees, why the feeling was so overwhelming that I hired extra security and took my podcast off air and pulled my children out of school. I had never experienced a dread like that in my life, ever. No one also can explain or even offer an explanation as to how exactly it is that Charlie knew he was going to die young, and that his death would specifically be related to Turning Point USA. He said he knew from the moment he signed on the dotted line that he was going to die young. What exactly is the expert explanation for that deep internal knowing that he had that has now been proven correct? I'll tell you, there isn't one. There isn't one. What Charlie sensed was obviously right. And the moment that Charlie was shot, I knew what happened to him was not random. Okay. He was betrayed. Charlie Kirk was the first casualty of the war in Iran. I'm certain of that. And it's deeper than that. I am now of the opinion that he was likely sacrificed. And I want to tell you why I got there. You guys know, if you're part of my book club, I've been doing a lot of research into Freemasonry.
I just got chills.
A month ago, while we took a break to prepare for our Bride of Charlie series, someone sent me this. I'm showing you, this is what they sent me in the mail. Something that is known as a Freemason Bible. Now, I knew that these existed because of my studying Sigmund Freud and looking into the fact that he had inherited one from his father. The backstory of this one in particular came with a handwritten letter, is that a 33rd degree Freemason out in Oklahoma died, and all of his belongings were left in a home that was eventually auctioned off. And the person who had this in his possession, his relative was the person who acquired the home. And they went in and they burned everything in it effectively, thinking that it was obviously just carrying bad spirits. But he, for some reason, had the sense that he should keep this one item. For no particular reason, he kept it in the back of his truck for over a decade. And when he saw me covering the history of Freemasonry and what they believe, trying to discern what it is that they believe, he felt that this was the reason that he had kept it all those years. So he just sent it to me to provide me further insight into what they believe and what they practice at the top of Freemasonry. This is not your granddad's Freemason lodge, okay? Oh, my dad was a lodge. It was just no, this is not that. That is not what 33rd degree Freemasonry is. So I flipped through this immediately after we did douse it in holy water. I flipped through it. And within the very first pages, there was a pentagram with various illustrations inside of it, notes around it. I'm going to show you that now. We just took a picture for it for you to see it. There at the bottom. And in case you can't see what is pointing to the middle, it says place of sacrifice or worship. Okay? Place of sacrifice or worship in the middle there. So I want you to note that in this Freemason Bible, it illustrates that a sacrifice must be made in the center of a pentagon. That's a pentagon. 5 sides, like a house. And I thought, how curious that Charlie was indeed seated in the center of a pentagon when he was killed. Let me demonstrate that for you. You can see that right there.
Ooh.
Again, it was my independent study into Sigmund Freud that led me to learning about B'nai B'rith, the Jewish Freemason group, who I believe have been running our country since at least the Civil War. I've done my best to consume and learn about what it is that they believe, what they practice. This is occult mysticism, okay? The satanic panic that happened was real. Children are being harmed. They have been harmed in occult ceremonies for a very long time. This is an ancient practice. And this is not to be confused with Judaism in any way. In fact, they rely on you confusing it. In no shape or form does this have anything to do with any of the monotheistic religions, okay? Judaism is merely a mask that these pagan occultists wear, just like Christianity is one of the masks that they wear. The Star of David, as they term it, is in fact an occult symbol meant to represent King Solomon's ring. There is no way that you can avoid this. There's no way that they can try to rewrite history. It is quite literally known as the Seal of Solomon. I'm going to show you this. This is on Wikipedia. This is that accessible. We can read parts of this together. It reads, it is often depicted in the shape of either a hexagram or a pentagram. In mystic Jewish lore, the ring is variously described as having been given to Solomon, having given Solomon, the power to command the supernatural. Due to the proverbial wisdom of Solomon, it came to be seen as an amulet or a talisman or a symbol or character in medieval magic and Renaissance magic, occultism, alchemy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is literal witchcraft. We cannot beat these people and we cannot win if we refuse to even recognize what it is that we are up against. We have to recognize what it is and who it is that we are up against. And again, it has nothing to do with Christianity. It's got nothing to do with Judaism. That is why, as is further stipulated on this Wikipedia page, the Seal of Solomon was once featured on the flag of Nigeria and the flag of Morocco. Those are not known to be Jewish countries. Freemasons worship Solomon as the master architect. They believe that he gave them the keys to build and therefore control societies. This is how you build. This is how you build a matrix, in effect, right? That is the reason why Aleister Crowley, who was a master occultist, created an entire religion around this, put together a series of books, a series of pentacles that are meant to summon various spirits. I want you to hear me when I say that. They are intentionally summoning demons. The first book he wrote was called The Book of Evil Spirits. Wow, look at that Star of David all over it. What do you mean this is not associated with Judaism? It's associated with Baal worship. I cannot stress this enough. That is what those in power practice. It is what they believe. It is ancient, it is occult, and it is magic. I believe that the manner of Charlie's death was also intended to cast a spell. That's the only thing I come up. I kept asking the question, why
Why?
did they broadcast this? Making us watch Charlie die was diabolical. And although this priest that I'm about to show you is discussing Satanism more broadly, he's not saying this, to be clear, in the context of Charlie Kirk. I want you to take a listen to what he says. This is Father Ripperger. He is going to describe the nature of this sort of constant symbolism that's being used, this obsession with them almost having to reveal to us what they're doing, like wanting to get close to revealing to us what they're doing, and then gaslighting us. Take a listen.
Actually, the technical term that we tend to use for that is called the revealing of the method. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I have.
Basically, it basically means that it can be connected to a curse. They could curse this so that it has a more so that its distribution becomes more extensive and more people watch the thing. But a lot of times, what that is that the thing about Satanists, and also even though it's occult and the fact that it's hidden, there's a side to diabolic psychology that even when they remain hidden, they still want to show themselves in some way. They're still going to reveal themselves in something. They can't help it. And it's the same thing you see. It's the same thing you see with Satanists. It's the same thing you see with Freemasons when they're involved in certain things. It's the same stuff you see across the board in these particular groups. And so they just tend to reveal stuff. But their hope is to, even in the revealing, that you don't know. There's a sadistic delight they get out of basically putting it to you without you even knowing it.
Yes, that is accurate. It is diabolical.
Do you believe that? I
And
do.
They are clearly sadistic in what they are doing. And of course, there is an element of it that they enjoy to gaslight you right after they do these sorts of things. That piece, by the way, about the symbolism, sort of overt and in your face, is also made clear in the very early pages of this quote unquote Freemason Bible. That symbolism is actually crucial. In fact, it's a science to them. You're not imagining things. Right here at the top, it states this. Again, from this quote unquote Freemason Bible. It reads, "It has been correctly stated that symbolism constitutes the very essence of Freemasonry. Freemasonry is essentially the science of symbolism." Further down, it offers us a section entitled "The Science of Symbolism Explained." It reads, "A symbol or an emblem is an occult representation of something unknown or concealed by a sign or a thing that is known." So something you recognize kind of carrying deeper meaning. And it gives us some examples. Incredibly, you wouldn't believe me if I didn't show it to you. It gives the example of a square. A square is in Freemasonry an emblem or a symbol of morality. A plumb line, the symbol of rectitude, and the beehive as a symbol of industry. Yes, they do communicate to one another using symbols, as I have maintained from the very beginning, by the way. Kash Patel continually stressing 33 hours was not random. It did not feel subtle. It seemed to me and to many others that was some sort of signaling. 33, everyone was just saying 33 all the time. So to the routinely gaslit public, I would like to validate your every instinct, most especially about the subsequent behavior of Turning Point USA as an organization, behavior that looked to us as though it was diabolical. There was apparently, sadly for them, not enough empiricism, rationality, or spell casting in the universe to override our sense that something was and is deeply wrong. Deeply wrong. What did they give us? The horrific murder of a man followed by the joyful coronation of his wife, who is now inviting his enemies onto the very ship that he built. Spiritual ick is what we felt. Okay. Words have meaning. They sent out their broadcasters effectively to cast something more broadly to the public. What they cast was, she's a grieving widow. That's what Charlie would have wanted. 6 feet social distancing. To what end, though? To what end? I believe it's pretty obvious now. There was an ultimate goal of raising Erika's political profile as a potential presidential candidate down the line. Actually, that was explicitly and almost immediately seated by her dear friend,
Yep.
part-time homosexual deviant, Tyler Boyer, who she can't remember how she met. Take a listen to what he said a mere 12 days after Charlie's assassination.
Do you see politics in her future down the road?
Yeah, it's funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, "Man, Erika could be so much bigger and better than me at almost everything." And we laugh all the time about it because people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
Well, there it is again.
Firmly.
Them telling us the private conversations were the exact opposite
From
of everything
home.
that Charlie was saying publicly. Women, get married, have children, have lots of children, stay home. That's more important. The days leading up, Erika said she stayed back because Charlie said home needs you. That's why she didn't go to the September 10th event. They were just on a tour. Charlie was just every day telling people that family is the most important thing. But privately, when he sat down with Tyler Boyer, he was like, Erika's going to be president. That's what I want for my wife. I want her to be president and to be also the CEO and chairman in the event of my death. And, he wasn't the only one, because you got to go backward to really realize how deranged everything was. Here is Frank Turek on October 7th, just 3 weeks following Charlie's assassination. Take a listen.
I used to say to him, the ticket in 2028 is going to be Vance Kirk. And I said, I don't know if you want to take it because I don't think you're going to have the same effect as the president of Turning Point USA. But you know what? Between you and me and our listeners, I'm not giving up on the Vance Kirk ticket.
Well, it's very exciting right there. But
I think Erika would be an amazing president someday.
Not if we can help
an
it.
Example of what Father Ripplinger described, diabolical psychology. Like, oh, Charlie was going to be the president, but you know what? It was Vance Kirk is what we were hoping for. But now he's gone. I just realized we don't have to let go of that hope because there's still a Kirk and there's still a President Vance. That could be really beautiful and exciting. Could be what Charlie wanted in the end. And of course, here is the very and always excited Mikey McCoy echoing that sentiment. Take a listen.
He left behind these blueprints for her. And
for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And for you, Mikey McCoy. You're amazing.
Yeah, we don't really ever know what the outcome's going to be. I definitely thought maybe there would be a Vance Kirk ticket. Maybe there will be a Vance Kirk ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Beautiful. Just beautiful, isn't it? Who could deny this sort of a destiny? Erika being the president in her husband's place, and they're smiling and they're laughing about that plausibility. And we're never going to see those blueprints, guys. But they did say to Mikey McCoy, my 21-year-old person who I have no idea how he even got this job as chief of staff, but these blueprints are for you. I didn't responsibly give them to someone that was running my estate, lawyers. No, I wanted to leave these for you and to Erika because I don't know, she just would understand these blueprints. With everything that I have thus far uncovered about Erika, I do believe that was her ultimate goal, the White House. I think Elizabeth Lane read Erika correctly when she posited that she may be a psychopath because, in my opinion, only a psychopath could, after her husband's public assassination, offer a raise to Dan Flood, the security guard who failed Charlie in every possible manner and way on September 10th. Only a psychopath who does not experience human emotions in the way that humans experience them would be capable of offering and then giving an in-home interview to the New York Times in the immediate days following her husband's assassination. The New York Times, a publication who her husband hated, and would then tell that journalist that the least traumatizing part was the idea of raising her children without a father. Okay? A psychopath is the best answer that I can come up with for why she felt compelled to go into the office the same week and to bring her kids every day rather than tending to their every emotional need at home as they come to the realization that they will never see their father ever again. A psychopath is my best explanation. My best explanation for why she told Jesse Waters that she had zero fear. None at all. No, she wasn't scared to walk out the door the very next day with her kids in tow. I think nearly everyone in the world felt a little less safe in the days following Charlie's assassination, but not his wife, Erika Kirk. No. Erika lies pathologically, and the media is trying to tell us that it's perfectly understandable, relatable even. It's actually divine. She lies because she's so godly that she forgave the person who allegedly murdered her husband before she even saw evidence of his guilt. And despite an overwhelming amount of evidence mounting to the contrary, Erika is so godly that she even helped to validate the implausible parts of the narrative regarding Tyler Robinson. The implausible parts, like the neck stopping a 30-06 bullet. She came up and crafted the Superman steel neck and all. No questions did she have, just faith, deep faith, and lies, a lot of lies. And to be sure, whatever the attempt was with Erika, pay attention to me, media. It has failed categorically, so stop it. Okay, all of your little media spells are failing as of late because we've recognized that they are very easily defeated by truth, loud truth. And more people are daring to speak it. More and more people are feeling inspired by Tucker Carlson to stand up and to recognize what it is we are fighting in this world. True evil, old school, ancient evil. We even have comedians that are daring to make jokes about the obvious, like Tim Dillon. Take a listen.
You know, you look at the Kirk thing, right? Remember that? You look at that and you try to zoom out and go, all right, tragic death on its face. We see a furry, the furry's boyfriend, the thing. Okay. Then we zoom out. We go, wait, the wife's weird. Something up with the wife. The organization's weird. Something's up with them.
Wait a minute, guys. I don't know if he always uses this background. This is like, it looks kind of like Roblox, but it also looks like Epstein's Island. He's got like a whole thing that looks like that. Anyways, I just noticed.
You know, 3 weeks after the guy's dead, she's out there with sparklers. You know, they're doing Cirque du Soleil. Something's off. Something's weird. Now we find out, like, the wife it's beyond weird. It's creepy. And there's a very good chance that this woman was his handler, that he was this powerful young guy who raised a lot of money for a lot of people and took a lot of money from a lot of people. And money's never free. So you think about it, you say you have this, how do you direct a guy like that who's incredibly important? He's running the largest young voter, registration organization. He's handling large sums of money. He's out there sculpting narrative as it regards to domestic and foreign policy. So you have a handler who comes in, and she may have loved him. I'm sure she loved him. Why wouldn't a handler love her husband? Because even though she was his Mossad handler and probably had him killed, no marriage is perfect. None. Not one. No marriage is perfect. Truly. No marriage is perfect. There's no marriage that is perfect. She may have been his handler, and they came to her one day and said, he found out you're his handler. Or she might have told them, she might have said, listen, we got problems. This guy, and I'm not the only one saying this, don't kill me. I'm saying, we're not breaking news here. We're not breaking ground.
No marriage is
We're
perfect.
reviewing. We're analyzing. We're like behind the eight ball. This woman may have called someone up and said, we got bad news here. This guy found all the laundered money, and now he knows I'm his handler, and he thinks that invalidates the marriage because I'm his handler. And they were like, Can we do anything about it? Is there anything we can do here? And she goes, I don't know. And then they go, well, we might have to, And she cried and she was sad, whatever. And I'm not saying any of that happened. I'm saying
Possibly.
that's more reasonable than what kind of we're being told. That's all.
He's absolutely nothing that we're being told is reasonable whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. We are very quickly arriving at a moment. By the way, I noted from my producer that some of you guys on YouTube got cut off for the first 4 minutes of the show. Just to let you know, we are speaking about people who were having a panic, a meltdown on X because of Tucker Carlson's tweet. Very simple tweet. He said, pray the spell breaks and the world is saved. What I am positing is the reason why they are so triggered is because of the word spell, which implies witchcraft, which implies the occult. And that is what this is. That is the moment that we are arriving in, is that we need to wake up to what it is that the people at the top believe. What is their guiding theology that keeps us constantly embedded in wars in foreign territories, constantly murdering children, looking the other way when children are being harmed? This brings me to President Trump, who has actually transformed into the longest running joke. It didn't take for me Charlie Kirk's death to wake up to what he was very fast becoming and what he now is. And I will have a lot to say to him, a lot to say about him when we get back from this quick break. All right, you guys, some major news for the...
Wow. So we lost, it was more than 4 minutes for you guys and for me too. We lost, it seemed more like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. It seemed like a lot. That's when I looked at the clock anyways. But anyways, hopefully on the recording, in post-production that we can see it. Hopefully. Let me go like this. Oops. All of them are witches. We are run by them. Yep. 100%. Now, okay, Tim Dillon, I want to know why he has Epstein Island as his backdrop. I'm going to have to look at that because that's crazy. I know he's a comedian. Maybe it's a joke, but yuck. And I saw that on Ellen's show, that she also had that in the backdrop too. It can't be coincidental. There's so much I have for you. So since Candace went on at 4, then I have a lot of material to get to that we couldn't do before her show. So if you can stick around, that would be awesome. Then we'll cover more about the trip that I'm making to Utah on Friday. And then we'll cover all the content that I had prepared for you guys and all the topics to talk about. We did some light, topics at the top of Candace's show right before she went on, but we didn't get to the bulk of everything that I had prepared for you guys. Anyways, it's funny how the start of her stream got chopped off. I never saw that happen. I haven't seen that happen either, ever, in the history of me watching Candace. And I've watched faithfully since Charlie Kirk's. Well, the Macron investigation, I did that. Okay, here she's back.
The correct words to communicate how I feel about President Donald Trump. I sort of ignore the topic of his existence altogether because it kind of sickens me, as it should. It should. If you were 2015, 2016, running around in MAGA hat, catching all of the figurative bullets for supporting him, standing up to the never Trumpers who are now running his administration, this level of deceit and betrayal should sicken you, right? The human spirit isn't really meant to contend with that sort of deceit. You're not supposed to even fathom a scenario where someone like Charlie Kirk quite literally dedicates his entire professional career, builds up an organization meant to help Trump, to empower Trump, conservative principles, one way or the other. And in return, when Charlie Kirk is assassinated in front of the world, Trump just dedicates a total of two tweets, 3 tweets at most, to demanding, and he'd never demanded an investigation. And one of those tweets that he dedicates Charlie Kirk is an AI image of Charlie hugging an Israeli flag. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
I didn't see
Trump
that.
has shown more interest in debunking the mainstream media narrative about whether or not he's balding than he showed any interest in investigating who murdered a person who was supposed to be his dear friend. It was, I will employ every reason. Nope. He was good. So how exactly are we supposed to process that? We are to simply understand, I think, that Trump has loyalty to no one but himself. It probably wasn't even anything that deep that they offered him. It was probably just like, hey, we'll give you a piece of real estate in Gaza with your name on it. Also, favorable headlines in the New York Times. We put that on your desk every morning and we tell you this is how everybody thinks. You think they still have power. Honestly, that's probably all it took for Trump to betray not just the legacy and the memory of Charlie Kirk, but also his supporters, the very supporters who followed him into battle. Some who literally spent time in prison after January 6th because they believed in him.
Yep.
Trump has betrayed every
Everyone.
last single one of us.
Everyone.
Okay? Make no mistake about that. Trump is now a never Trumper. The very people that we had to fight to get Trump into office, he is now partnered with and insulting us. And he thinks that we're too stupid to notice or something. That he promised low gas prices, that he promised no more forever wars, no more involvement in Middle East conflict. And we're now getting the exact opposite. And that's happening because he's a coward. He is a coward for doing this to the American people. And that's going to be his legacy. His legacy is going to be a person who could not stand up to Bibi Netanyahu, a person who just loves money and loves the idea of his name on anything. This is.
I had posted about him pushing that seat in that day that it happened, and I was disgusted. And at that point knew exactly we were cooked.
What the world will remember about Donald Trump. Thus far in 1 year, to recap, his administration has worked to allow the slow erosion of the First Amendment on college campuses, special carve-outs for anti-Semitism. So, in effect, hate speech laws. There's a new IHRA definition for anti-Semitism, a definition that is so broad that it includes, quote, accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interest of their own nations. That's interesting because he doesn't even know what they're writing and what they're putting together, he's not paying attention, he hilariously violates his own law when he discusses his boss, Miriam Adelson. Take a listen to what he says.
Miriam, stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country.
Oh, this hurts.
She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must tell you. We love you. Thank you, darling, for being here. That's a great honor.
So Trump is saying that the person that he took $100 million, $200 million from, I think in the end, loves Israel more than she loves America. She served in the IDF. That's what he's saying to you. Trump's administration then delayed the release of and then gaslit us over the Epstein files. He called the files a Democratic hoax. He asked us famously, are we still talking about the Epstein files? Are we still talking about children being harmed? Yeah, make no mistake, that translates into providing cover for Jewish pedophiles, because that's what Jeffrey Epstein was, an occult Jewish pedophile. Trump told us no more forever wars. They definitely marketed themselves as pro-peace, him and Vance. That was the ticket that they ran on until Bibi Netanyahu said Venezuela is anti-Semitic. Then we took out Maduro. And guess who benefited from that? I loved this headline so much. Venezuela sends first oil shipment to Israel in years.
Okay.
In signs of relations improving. I bet relations have improved.
Wow.
Hey, look, Americans, your gas prices are going up. But the important thing to remember is that your tax-paying dollars were sent to support the military operation in Venezuela, which has thus far benefited Israel. And my best guess is that's at least part of the reason, the real reason why Trump is obsessed with acquiring Greenland, because they do have untapped crude oil, an estimated 31 billion barrels worth. That sure would go a long way for Israel's incessant need to murder, bomb, and destroy. Need a lot of that. Now, maybe you voted for Trump because you were a Maha mom. Have no fear, the traitor is here. Because on February 26th, Trump signed an executive order invoking the Defense Production Act to boost the production of glyphosate, which is what's found in Monsanto, right? That is the cancer-causing agent that is in the weed killer. We know
What
it
are they going to
causes
do with all
cancer.
the extra?
Maha moms fought so that would not be a thing anymore. Toxic pesticides are apparently back on the table. But don't miss this part, okay? This is from the Washington Post, because people went, why do this? They wrote, but the largely overshadowed part was the order's mention of something contentious in another way: the manufacture of munitions used by the United States military. Bayer, which makes glyphosate, is also the only company in the United States that manufactures a form of elemental phosphorus, which is called white phosphorus, which is used to make the weed killer. Ah, okay. Phosphorus. That white phosphorus is also used to make munitions deployed as smoke screens and incendiary devices that can violently burn property or people.
Oh, okay.
That's good. I'm glad that
Wow.
the Washington Post noted that everyone's talking about Monsanto, but nobody's paying attention to the fact that white phosphorus is also being manufactured by executive order.
What
You're
is
not gonna
going
believe,
on?
but guess what is being used right now in Lebanon? Check out this headline. Oh, Israel unlawfully using white phosphorus. I wonder where they're getting that from.
Okay.
I wonder where they're getting that from. Probably from the pro-peace ticket. It was all peace, peace, peace. It's always peace until Israel gets involved. They don't know peace. They don't want peace. Bibi instructed Trump to bomb Iran almost immediately. And gratefully, because Charlie Kirk was alive at that time, it was at first limited to just hitting their nuclear sites. And I shouldn't even say gratefully, by the way, because he promised us no involvement in overseas conflicts, but they at least pretended for a little bit like it was only going to be a limited operation. Now, some of us knew better because it's never ending. Baal requires constant blood sacrifice. The obstacle of Charlie Kirk was then subsequently removed. And now where are we, right? The United States is preemptively bombing Iran. And the explanation that we are receiving is because Israel was going to bomb Iran. So we went ahead and did it for them just in case Iran responded by hitting American military bases. Wow, that's actually very confusing. That's dizzying. There's no way they actually said that. No, they did. Marco Rubio came right out and said exactly that. Take a listen.
The assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
I'm sorry, but under that scenario, if Israel was going to cause and set off that chain of events, wouldn't it have made sense for them to bomb Israel? Bomb Israel to prevent Israel from bombing Iran? Prevent Iran from retaliating by going after American bases because of our involvement with Israel and constantly sending them munitions and things of that nature? Just don't understand how the logic is Israel can't stop bombing people, so we have to bomb people for them. That's what he's telling you. And that's what we're doing. We just murdered 150 Iranian schoolgirls between the ages of 7 and 12.
Yeah, there's proof that it was us.
Don't worry, guys. It was preemptively because Israel was probably going to bomb them and kill them. So we went ahead and did that for them. So long as you say preemptively, it makes it okay. Don't even think further. How much peace can we really take? It's just too much peace. You know, you say too much winning. It's like too much peace. Let's actually take a look at some live footage of the peace that we are currently spreading in the Middle East. Yeah. preemptive piece. We had to do, I can explain it. I can explain it for you guys. It looks like peace. I will reiterate my perspective that Trump allowing this to happen, allowing this to go forward, it makes him a traitor, and it also makes him a coward. And you would do well to accept that fact. Okay, stop playing left or right. Stop saying it would have been different if a Democrat was in office. Stop playing Republican or Democrat. Wake up. These people occupy both sides. And I believe very much that world wars are in effect global resets. That's why they always want them. They use propaganda to convince people to sign up for their own slaughter. Something that lives in my mind rent-free is Norm Finkelstein informing me that Israel had a literal and actual government policy known as mowing the lawn in Gaza.
Did you guys see
where the
this?
IDF
Her
would
interview
just at
with
random
him?
begin shooting and killing Palestinians to ensure that the population didn't grow.
Yep.
Just like, oh, no, too much population. This is, to me, when I see everything going on right now, and there being no reason but like an insistence that we all have to just get ready for Armageddon, this feels to me like an opportunity to simply mow the lawn of people that stand against them. Population control has always been the aim, whether it's by vaccines, abortion propaganda, my body, my choice. Wake up. Like I said, left or right, it's the same end. It's the same thing that they are barreling towards. They want you to agree to murder your offspring or yourselves. Sign up for war. Here's some propaganda. You're going into the Middle East. There's no plan. There's going to be no end in sight. But man, could you imagine afterwards? We might even give you a Purple Heart. You won't be here to receive it. But just as was stipulated, by the way, for those of us who are making our way through the Jeffrey Epstein files, effectively having conversations openly about how in the future people won't even be able to reproduce on their own. That's their ultimate desire, to control birth and to control death. They want to be gods on earth. That's what they want to be. They see themselves as all we need to do is control birth and control death. And then we control everything. And make no mistake, Trump will, if they tell him to, at the behest of Bibi or Miriam Adelson, send your sons and daughters to die for Israel. Israel expects that. Okay? They look at the Goyim and they say, that's ours. That those are our cattle. They're already signaling
Slaves.
that they're keeping their options open regarding whether they will need boots on the ground. Here is Israel's defense minister, Benny Gantz, discussing that he's not going to exclude that need. Take a listen.
We have 180,000 Revolutionary Guard, almost 1 million Basij, 2 million reservists who are Basij. They are the ones with the guns. Even if this campaign goes on for 4 to 5 weeks, is it fair to expect unarmed civilians to come out and take over their government?
Well, it's a very complicated situation over there, but I suggest we'll take it one step at a time. Currently, we are neutralizing Iran's command and control system and Iran's capacity to influence the region, and we'll see what comes next. I think we have to be very decisive on this. We must maintain operational offensive continuity to assess where are we all the time and then to take the decisions.
Do you think eventually there will be a need for boots on the ground?
I would not exclude it for those reasons or other, but we'll have to see how it goes forward.
And will that include Israeli boots on the ground, do you think?
I exclude nothing. We've been waiting for 47 years, and we came to a point that every necessary means should be taken in order to achieve our goals.
It's just amazing. I love that the follow-up question was, is that going to include Israeli boots on the ground? Like, it's implied that it's not Israeli boots on the ground. And as a follow-up, it's like, oh, okay, if you do it, are you going to also include Israeli boots on the ground? And in that same vein, we have Caroline Levitt signaling that a draft is not off the table because Trump is smart. Take a listen.
And the president had an interesting exchange on Air Force One over the weekend, Caroline. I want to get your take about this idea of troops on the ground. Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up
It's
until
not
now.
off the table.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table. But as commander-in-chief, there's no greater priority or responsibility to this president than, of course, protecting the American people and protecting our troops and our bases in the Middle East, which Iran has been threatening for 47 years. They have killed and maimed thousands of American soldiers, and President Trump was not going to allow Iran to attack our bases and our troops and our men and women in the Middle East first, and that's why he took this historic action by launching Operation Epic Fury.
That's right. He only allows Israel to do that. Only Israel is allowed to attack America. Only Israel is allowed to get away with the Lavon affair. Only Israel is allowed to get away with what they did at the USS Liberty. That is a right reserved for Israel to attack and use Americans, to maim and caricature people. That is their right. It's a birthright, probably promised them 3,000 years ago. I say the question is not if, by the way that they're speaking, the way that they have lied. They just keep pushing it and pushing it. Oh, no, it's just going to be 4 Dow, just Operation Midnight Hammer. That's it. Now it's suddenly, oh, no, we need to do a little bit more preemptively. Now it's, oh, the options are still maybe kind of on the table, but like it's smart for him to keep his options on the table. That sounds to me like the question is not if, but when. Not if, but when that option is going to be executed. I think it's actually a crucial part of their plan because it's time to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
That's why Israel supporters like Bill Ackman went rabid over the weekend over me suggesting that maybe military men shouldn't sign up. Maybe you shouldn't sign up to join the military in America if this is the circumstance that we live in. Yeah, they want me imprisoned for merely mentioning that no one at this juncture should join the American military. Bill was retweeting people who were stipulating that it's actually a federal crime to tell people apparently not to sign up for the military. Why is that? Why do you think they're retweeting that? Why does the idea of Goyim not serving have them so stressed out? I mean, it's been them, they're the ones saying that every poll shows that Americans overwhelmingly support action in Iran. It's so overwhelming that they support what's happening in Iran, right? Americans hate Tucker Carlson. They hate Megyn Kelly. They hate Candace Owens, and they love Israel so much. Please take our tax dollars. Please, we just did this operation in Venezuela. You take the oil. No, you take everything. You guys get free health care. I'm giving you guys an opportunity to prove how honest you are, how much support Israel has. May you be hoisted on your own petard of shameless propaganda. In the meantime, I would like to reiterate my point. No American son or daughter should die for Israel. Flat out. No American son or daughter should die for Israel. Goyim, stand down. Go home. Find the legal means to exit the military, because there are legal means you can exit the military. You can, in fact, conscientiously object to military service. Military men, in case you didn't know, swear an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. I don't really see that happening right now. I don't even see Trump doing that. From his flagrant violations of free speech to freedom of religion, Trump recently firing Carrie Prejean Bowler from the Religious Committee because Zionists didn't like her Catholic perspectives. Can anybody at all meaningfully point out for me, which specific portion of the Constitution our commander-in-chief is currently doing a good job protecting? What is it? What you look around at? What has he done that you would be like, oh yeah, he is the person who is defending our Constitution? Better yet, show me which guaranteed constitutional right you believe that Trump will not violate for Israel. Can you point to one? Because I feel like right now we are all being forced into the servitude of a foreign nation. That seems to be the American reality right now. So I say, by all means, allow the Mark Levins, the Ben Shapiros to sign their offspring up instead. Allow the Christian Zionists, the ones who make videos telling you how devilish it is if you don't support Israel. They believe this is messianic, that Bibi was sent to usher in Armageddon. That's going to bring Jesus back. I urge you, all of you Christian Zionists, sign up for the military today. Please, you guys, stop tweeting. Stop screaming about Tucker Carlson. You have something much more important to do. There's a messianic mission right now. Go to Iran. Go remove the thousands of dead, innocent Palestinian children from beneath the rubble in Gaza so that Trump can build his hotel. I want you guys to be the change that you wish to see in the world. You've got this. Allow the goyim to stand down because you guys have the vision. You have the understanding. It's biblical. Go for it. You can do this without us. We'll be right back after a break. All right, you guys, way before the food industry failed us and started.
Woo. I think, well, I was going to say, I think they would take Candace off air before arresting her, but if they wanted to, to do a whole demonstration for all of us, like they did with Charlie Kirk, then yeah, I could actually see her being arrested. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. So she's covering, I'm still going to cover all the content. You all, if you weren't here in the beginning, I'll be covering all my content. Candace went on earlier than she has been, so we're doing my content after the show. If you can stick around, hopefully you can. We'll talk about more of my trip to Utah and then everything here. I have it in my notes to cover, like a lot of the stuff that she's going over. So, yeah. Who is nervous about what is going on? Like, do you think about it throughout your days and nights? So I'm feeling, of course I feel nervous, but I'm like, we won't go down without a fight. I'm one of those, like, I don't care. I'm here and I'm going to fight and I'll keep fighting until I can fight no more. And I'll fight in the ways that I can. But it's a lot like, the views that Candace has is you just speak up and you just keep saying it over and over and you say it loudly for the people in the back who are still going, oh, you liberals, oh, whatever. I'm not a liberal.
And Stevie, this was, I think, our top comments from last episode. Stevie wrote, Erika was telling the truth about being at a job interview. It's just that Charlie was the job. Yes, we will have more on that for you guys tomorrow as we get into her Charlie years. Laura Evelyn writes, calling yourself a sole provider, referring to Erika, when you are sitting on tens of millions of dollars that you didn't earn is a bold strategy. It is. There is no strategy. Like, she's basically on autopilot. And, I just have no words for everything that we have seen transpire. And I hope that what you take away from this episode is that this is gaslighting on a scale so epic that I asked my husband meaningfully this weekend. We went to get something to eat, and I just said, how much more are they going to twist the fabric of reality? Like, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen
unprecedented
them pretending like 99% of people support something that they just so obviously do not support. And they just do it. You can do a poll right now, anywhere, X, Facebook, everybody loves it. They're just releasing bots, fake people on the internet to pretend that this is being supported, that people just love war. They just love dead children in the Middle East. It's just made up. We all know they're lying. They know that we know that they're lying. That's why they're angry. If they were actually winning, they wouldn't be angry. No one was angry during the Obama years because we all generally were still a bit sleepy, whether you were left or right. We were all generally a bit sleepy, and we thought that America was to some degree doing the right thing. We're not existing under that anymore. We've awakened to what they're doing. The power, it's really funny to take a look at what Israel has done. They don't realize that the power that they had over America did not exist in the money. It didn't exist in the blackmail. Yeah, that's element of it. Yeah, you blackmail a bunch of politicians. You get them caught doing weird things on camera. I mean, whatever they have, I imagine whatever they have on Lindsey Graham is so far beyond. I mean, it's like, it's got to be disgusting. That's how I feel in the way that he acts. It's like manic almost in support of Israel. Randy Fine, I would say the same thing about. But that wasn't the power that Israel held. The power was in the illusion. The power was in the millions of Americans, the majority of us thinking and believing that Israel was innocent, believing that Israel was just a tiny country in the Middle East, believing that they had never done anything to anybody. And then they bet all that. They bet all that power. They said, you know what, now we've got money. Now we are controlling the troops. Now we are, which we've been doing for decades. We've got the military, we've got the presidency, we've got all this stuff. So now we don't even care. We're gonna go mask down. No, the mask down.
Yeah.
No, you needed your mask up. So this is the problem that they have. And this is why they're angry, because they recognize entire generations no longer believe them. Nobody believes in the innocence of Israel anymore. People are looking up and understanding how much we have been lied to. People are pulling their kids out of school so that they don't suffer that same ignorance that we suffered for a very long time. I'm speaking especially to millennials. Perhaps there is some contingent of people who watch Fox News all day and really believe that this is just going to be a small little strategy. Yeah, give it to Iran. But no, we're not falling for it. We're not falling for the Russia. Russia's our biggest enemy. It's always the Middle East. It's always the Muslims. We're awake from that. And so I think that is what they really messed up. They messed up in underestimating how much the illusion mattered. Anyway, Curious Joel writes, JFK and Charlie Kirk's assassinations were examples of domestic regime change. I include CK because Turning Point USA was a military organization operating on behalf of the United States and Philadelphia. Maybe we wouldn't be so fond of regime change wars if we fully knew that it happened to us too. I mean, the fact that they were, when they sent me that cease and desist, they wrote for saying that Turning Point is like militarily got infiltrated. Everybody's in the military. I'm sorry I pointed out the background of all of these pastors and Turning Point Faith and Erika's mother. It just seems like a lot of military people arrived very quickly. That's all I'm saying. Sorry for noticing. TJ Kurt writes, thank you for highlighting the fact that many of us gave thousands of dollars through Give, Send, Go so that Erika could stay at home with her babies.
Yeah, that's so
While I'm waiting
gross.
forever for my thank you note, she says it's not enough, so she will still need to work to support them. It is maximum ingratitude. Yeah, it is maximum ingratitude. And I could have gone over and over in terms of how much money was given to her. I think someone pointed out that I even missed that Elon Musk donated money to them. So no, there is no reason that Erika needs to be at the office every day. That doesn't make any sense. She did not need to become the CEO. She's not honoring her husband. We can hear her husband's words of what he wanted, what his vision was for his children. It is impossible to be a sole provider, to be the sole parent, and for those kids to grow up with the influence that they need, having a parent at home while you're busy being the CEO and chairman of an alleged now billion-dollar company. I mean, again, they think we have no common sense, that you really can just be a single mom and somehow run an organization and say, no, my children are happy because they're at the office. They're at the office. This is exactly where toddlers love to be. They love to just be running around an office. Intuition Jen writes, Candace, great job. Kabbalah, Satanism. There are many commonalities. Yes, there is indeed. They are attempting to bring their Messiah back. Who is that exactly? We don't know, but we know. Yeah, I mean, we are looking at the synagogue of Satan. There's no question. I mean, look up the amount of blood sacrifice this requires. How could anybody be under any delusions? It's very clear what they want and what they are willing to do to get it. That's more important. What they are willing to do to get it. And this is why you have to learn about Frankism. You got to learn about Jacob Frank. You have to learn that similarly, you had this movement of people similar to the Christian Zionists that are like unhinged, looking at Paula White, the pastors that are surrounding Trump, that they believed in this messianic mission. And what was he? He was a mentally disturbed psychopath, is what Jacob Frank was. And they followed him anyway. They thought he was a Messiah. That's what I see when I look at the people who are unflinchingly following Bibi Netanyahu, who can look at what happened in Gaza and go, this was by God's design. Who is the God that you are referring to? What God requires sacrifice of children in that manner? Least of all for a hotel, for property that was promised to a lot of these pastors, by the way, property in Gaza. They've already got
I'm sure
homes that are promised to them.
That
To
sucks.
convince their churches to support this.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
D. Shaw writes, look into the Hellfire Club if you have not already. I have. Yes, I need to join your book club. Yes, we are constantly talking about Freemasonry. Hellfire Club, that actually gets into, because they visited Paris. I mean, France is problematic for a ton of reasons, but I believe the Hellfire Club was in England. If I remember correctly, it was either an Oxford club or Cambridge club. I'm aware of it though. Dr. Tom Najar writes, I want your honest opinion. How do you feel about rooting for Trump during the elections? Do you feel some responsibility for the chaos we are in? People make mistakes, and I understand, but didn't you see this coming? This is even the way you're setting up this question implies that like the other option would have been better. Like you had two options. You had Kamala, who absolutely nobody voted for. I mean, do you think that Biden was running the White House? Who do you think was running the White House? Biden couldn't even form a sentence. It is the same apparatus that was running the White House when Biden was in office that would have continued running it, had Kamala run, that is running it now that Trump is running. That's the way that I see things.
Yeah.
And I don't know, has Trump grown almost erratic in the manner in which he is gaslighting us? Yeah. I definitely did not foresee that Epstein moment coming. You know, I was not a person, I spent time explaining to people that Kamala was not who she said she was. She was completely lying about her past, completely lying about her history. And I did the Kamala Chronicles, but I've been off that like hardcore MAGA Trump train for a while, actually. Obviously, I think that the thing that does let me down the most, that has been so shocking to me, is for him to have survived the assassination attempt. And what he is dedicating the rest of his time to is destroying America for Israel. Like, you survive multiple assassination attempts, and your instinct is, what are they telling you? You survived it so that you could do more for Israel? I can't even comprehend what is going on.
It was fake.
And yeah, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I think a lot of people right now just feel completely duped. But if there's one thing that I'm grateful for, it's that I do believe the left and the right are coming to this understanding that they always pretend it's an either or, and it's not an either or. We lose every single time. They have found different ways to get us toward move us toward constantly handing more power over to them. It's just how they argue to get us to that thing. Left versus right. Mama C writes, during Charlie's memorial, my husband saw Tyler Boyer and said, we need to remember that guy. Turning Point has emotionally manipulated too many into thinking that these are decent, God-fearing people when it's clear that they are not. Actually, I'll tell you that I have it on very good authority that they have had to cancel events that Erika was intended to speak at because there has been a backlash. There's been a backlash, and there should be a backlash when you are not being told the truth and you are being lied to. And the lies seem to be pathological, small lies, big lies. You should not welcome that. And you, least of all, should welcome this emotional manipulation that comes with, well, you kind of have to accept the lies that you're being told because her husband was Charlie Kirk. That's her Charlie. That is absolutely ridiculous. Intuition Jen writes, oh, sorry, I already read that. Amy Loves Music writes, thank you. I'm not going to lie. Charlie was one of the reasons that I voted for Trump. Do I think that he was better than Kamala? Yes. But an independent artist named Ren called it choosing between calamities or herpes. God bless you, Candace. Stay safe.
Calamities or herpes.
Just asking a question. But if Erika and Vance have a ticket, they won't get my vote, if that even matters. No. Yeah, I don't think. I think anything that Erika is on or involved in. I can't even imagine. Unless she does a mask down, sit down, tell the truth, sort of interview, no holds barred. That's the only way I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my phone. Here's Charlie's phone. And maybe stop saying Shabbat Shalom. That's the only way I could see that there would be a chance for her to do anything. But yeah, do anything in the future in politics. But I think the chances of that are effectively
I think she's done.
Anyway, lastly, Ahmed writes, awesome work, Candace. Thank you for speaking truth. I want to remind you guys, if you'd like to support us speaking truth, you can head to our website, CandaceOwens.com. We have tons of merch on the website. It's our easiest way to support us and to support just independent voices. There aren't too many. Actually, there are a lot now that are getting, but I mean, there aren't too many in the mainstream media organ that are willing to tell the truth. We know that's true. And that's why I always say, make sure you pray for Megyn Kelly. They've been attacking her really hard. Pray for Tucker because he is bringing up these very same topics. And this really gets to the belly of the beast. It really does. That's what we're looking at. Anyway, you guys, that's all we have for you today. I'm sorry, by the way, if you're on YouTube and the first few minutes of the show got cut off, we will try to upload it later. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, Candace. Wow. Jamie said, well, that was depressing. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, yeah, it is. It is. Okay. So with that, I've got a bunch of stuff prepared for us to talk about today. I have to go to the bathroom really bad. I'm sitting here wiggling and wiggling. So give me a minute. Give me, let me put this banner up here. Let me think. Let me go if I can go longer. Hold up. I need more time. How long will this go? At least 60 seconds. Okay. Okay. I'm going to run for a bio break. I will be right back and we will go over all this stuff. And let me see. Be right back. Let me see what screen I can put it on. If I remove myself, let me go. What it'll be. So if people, you guys can't hear me when I'm off screen, so I'll be right back. If people come on while I'm off screen, then please let them know. I'll be right back. I mean, there's a thing right there, but anyways, we have a lot to go. So if you can stick around, that would be amazing. So I'll be right back. Woo! Thank you. I drank that full bottle of orange juice and it caught up for me. So normally I have to, not drink. I tend to drink, I drink like 4 of these a day. And so right before the show, I have to remember to not drink not drink a lot, and then I get really thirsty. I want to make sure all of my things are still connected. Okay, perfect. Sometimes when I go, the software wants to reboot and to do something other than what I really want it to do. Welcome in. So we're doing this a little backwards. Maybe we'll end up liking it better if we can watch Candace first and then come back on and talk about it all. But anyway, so the thumbnail showed that I was announcing that I was going to Utah for an investigation. Let me see your comments here real quick. Okay, we got you. Thank you guys. Okay, Maggie. Well, I'm drinking a margarita now. Cheers, everyone. Well, we kind of need it. That was depressing, but it's also, well, I mean, it totally is, and scary, but it's also hopeful to know that there are voices, because if it was completely silent and it was just the government running everything in the mainstream media, we would be even more cooked than it seems like we are now. So at least we got that. Jamie, do you have your whiskey yet? Jeff said. Jamie, didn't need this in my late 50s. I feel like I need to do something. I know. That's the thing. That's the thing. Why I got into, somebody had asked me how long I've been streaming and all of that. And it was because I'm like, we need voices. There was you guys who have been here a while, you probably remember or know that the lawsuit between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively is what got me going. I need to speak up and stand for what's right. I have always had that sense of justice in me, and now I'm just doing it publicly. And Michelle says, cheers, I'm drinking an apple juice and not, cheers. Not the people use the juice box to represent the word Jews instead of saying it because social media can throttle us down. Drinking coffee in the afternoon right here. Well, we should have a after hours show where we can sit around and drink our drinks together and get sloppy. Get sloppy. Hope just had a matcha latte. I had 3 Excedrin and an orange juice, and I have water. But I have something handy if I feel like I need it. So hit the heart in the chat so that people know like we're still here. I did not put on there that this is a Candace live watch party. So, I don't know if it's going to throttle things back for us like it has been. I don't know if you saw Barron's show, but he was saying that his and Candace's streams, they've noticed it's being throttled way back, which means a smaller channel like mine needs a lot more help from you guys to share posts, to comment, to mention it in your other people that you engage with online and all of that. So because mine, like if they're doing that to the bigger channels, mine has like little hope, and the views are going backward, the likes are going backward, my view hours are not showing up. It's really weird, it's really odd, and who knew all this could happen too. At least we still have social media for the time being. And so we're going to take advantage of it while we still can. Jamie, we went to war over tax on iced tea, 1776. Now babies are being, yes, and slaughtered. Okay, I'm done. Maggie loves matcha. I'm not a matcha fan. I do. It tastes really grassy. It has to be like super sweet or something. Like, please hit the Michelle. Michelle, maybe you need to be another mod for me. Hit the like button. It does help a lot. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. So the comments and the engagement here helps a lot too. Yeah, that's your last rant. Well, we might get into more. Anyway, I appreciate your guys' engagement. It makes it a lot of fun. So we talked about Britney Spears. We won't talk about that since we were talking about Donald Trump and Israel's, I wanted to say part of Israel's philosophy is why they did what they did over in Gaza is their philosophy is they kill everyone. They strike, and they don't just stop there because their philosophy is that they want to make sure nobody can come back. Like, the children, the offspring, they're going to be the enemies. And so they need to kill the offspring too, because, because it's going to protect them from being warred against later down the line. And so we're just looking at, maybe because Iran is so much bigger than Palestine, but it's still similar, like, genocide. It's that kind of activity. So what scares me and what worries me is the fact that what they're doing is so much out. They're out in the open. They don't care if we see or they know. So that, to me, they're like, what are you going to do? So that is what worries me. If they're at that point of really not caring, and it appears as though they don't care who sees, what they do, who knows, the amount of lies, like they're just like, whatever, say what you're going to say. It's not going to affect us any. That's what scares me, is how flagrant they are about what they're doing, and they're just flaunting it. As a matter of fact, it actually seems like they want us to see. They want us to see. And that's what it feels like. So yeah. Yeah. Matcha is hay bale drink. It is earthy. It is very, very earthy. Anyways, so that's the stuff in Iran. Candace posted on X last Friday that if you're against the war, you can get help. And there's this GI rights video. Caroline Levitt that had, said that a draft is not off the table. Somebody said that Trump's going live tonight. If you know the time of that, let me know. But anyways, that it's not out of the question. And I'm like, I've been saying for a long time now, for a while, that we're occupied. So anyways, I'll show you that video. She had posted pictures. Jamie says, T, you know what drives me to anger? What drives you to anger? Aside from all of this, it does. It just gets me going and gets me more engaged of, wanting to do something. But so here's the video. Let me see. I think I want to do this. I want to do it like this, I think. Of what she posted, what Candace posted and what they're complaining about. Oh, that's so small. I want it bigger. Let's see that. So this is what she posted. Yeah, so there's an 800 number. I encourage everyone to share that with your friends and family so that, they know that there are options, legal options, and they don't have to go. But as I said earlier, it is really scary, especially if that's your only source of income or, you're the breadwinner. It's scary. But back when Trump pushed in the chair and held the chair for Bibi, that video she had shown a clip of, I was like, we're in trouble, you guys. We're cooked. He's treating it like, that was subservient and a subservient act. And I think we all, need to serve one another, but that was on a different kind of level. That military bases are involved with the children. Yeah. Jeff said, I do a little bit of traveling and people just seem oblivious to what's going on. They're also trusting Trump. TPUSA. That's what's weird is they're all asleep, and that Tucker had called for, praying that the spell is broken would be really nice, because people are still making this about Republican, Democrat, left, right, liberals, conservatives, all of that. It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than all of that. Anyway, so here is this one thing I wanted to show you too. This was, I got to check that Sean Ryan interview that she played a clip of. I'm going to go back and hopefully I'll get to watch that today. I like to watch those things, but here's this one.
Here we go. Ready? I think our country is occupied. Who do you think we're occupied by? AIPAC. A lot of people think that. The evidence is all there. It's come on. We send $18 billion a year to Israel. Why? Just ask the question, what do we get out of it? Nothing. We get nothing. Are we doing humanitarian work? No, they're charged with genocide. They're killing off Palestinians. Are we helping them survive? Well, they've got a higher standard of living than we do, a longer lifespan than we do, free education, free housing, free health care. Well, we're sending them money. Why? Ask yourself why a U.S. congressman can wear an Israeli military uniform in congressional chambers. I would think that would be an act of treason. But they did. Nobody said anything. Ask why the Israeli prime minister can bypass the president, fly directly in and speak to our Congress without any other government interaction.
I didn't know that could happen.
Oh yeah, Netanyahu did. Flew straight in, bypassed.
Did you guys know that? Bibi flew in and met with Congress on his own without the president's approval, knowing anything.
The president talked to the Congress. Congress gave him 26 standing ovations.
And did you see the standing ovation that lasted like 4 minutes? This was the last time Bibi was there in the House. That made me sick.
Our Congress gave Netanyahu, a foreign prime minister, 26 standing ovations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's been going on. And yeah, people are still like, let's, Trump, yay. Watching on my TV, chatting on my phone. Hi, Super Smarty. Thanks for being here. Please hit the thumbs up and hit the heart next to the chat so that the algorithm picks us up and knows that we're here and active. That would be amazing. Thank you. Yeah, so we are, and we have been. And at first I was like, well, maybe Trump has been overtaken. Although I think he also has that going against him, or, that's against us. But I think he's fully part of it. And, don't forget, he's been involved allegedly in SNUFF films, being a witness and active in those films. And so if that is true, and there is evidence against him and proof that can be used against him, I would say that's the strongest bit, that he'd be highly encouraged to do whatever they wanted, if that's the case. But I have a hunch that what's really driving him is power, money, recognition by them. He's propped up as this king of sorts, which is what he's that's what he wants ultimately, adoration. And he doesn't care that it's if we do or not, as long as his peers are doing it. The occupied video. So that was that. So last week so again, I am going to Utah. I'm going to fly to Utah on Friday. I'll be spending the weekend there. And so any ideas or thoughts that you have in the meantime, I'll be on Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Thursday, although that's a little bit up in the air. So any thoughts, ideas, anything you can do to help me get the word out to other researcher creator types, because they can do a lot more, a lot faster than I can do, because that's not my specialty. But this is more my specialty of going boots on the ground to track people down and talk to them. That's what I enjoy. So anyway. So, and what had really motivated me is last week, you guys asking the question if we think Candace will dial it back and slow down. And I was like, if it's up to me, if there's anything I can do, and I believe there are things that I can do to keep this investigation going, then I want to do it. And I had it in the back of my mind to head out to Utah. And at that point of our show, and then after that, I'm just like, I need to go. I'm just gonna I'm gonna hit launch, and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do this and turn over some rocks and talk to some people and see what we can come away with. And hopefully that's good. I just keep thinking of that movie, Field of Dreams, where he says, if you build it, they will come. And I'm just trusting that's what's going to be. If the reason that I'm just assuming the reason that I'm motivated at this point in time to hit the trigger and to go is because there's something there for us to see, and there's something there for us to hear. Yeah, I'm on that. Be careful. I will be careful. So there are people who have said that, well, a person who said that they live over there in the area and they could be there as support too. So anyways, so this is what keeps us going. I will show you. Let's go. I'm going to, let's see. This town hall. I'm going to do this. It's not going to let me. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you guys. Okay. Hold on. I got to share a different tab with you Share screen. Okay. This is it. This motivates me, and this keeps me motivated all the time. And the creators, Baron, Candace, all the other people continuing this story keeps me going and keeps me motivated too. But this right here, it really, we go. Why isn't it doing this? Where'd it go? Why isn't it coming? Hold on, guys. I'll get right there. Let me go remove this. Is this it? There it is. Okay, perfect. I'll play you some other things from here too. Here we go.
Breaking news out of Utah Valley University.
There's an emergency response there, flooded by law enforcement.
The conservative activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot during an event.
The latest horrible example of what appears to be a rising tide of political violence.
In the past year, we've seen assassinations and assassination attempts against a Republican presidential candidate, Democratic legislators, and a conservative activist.
One moment, Charlie was doing what he loved.
That's a different question.
Arguing and debating on campus. Fighting for the
You're
gospel.
thinking way too simple about this. You got to go deeper.
Truth. In front of a big crowd, and then he blinked. He blinked. And saw his Savior in paradise.
Even as he had all of these positions, many of them seen as controversial on different issues, he had a huge galaxy of support on America's right.
When you stop the conversation, when you stop the dialogue, this is what happens. When we lose the ability and the willingness to communicate, we get violence.
CBS News presents A Town Hall with Erika Kirk.
Good evening. I'm Barry White.
Anyways, that always gives me chills, and it just, I'm like, this is why we keep going. This is why we keep pushing. And as I said earlier, if we get to the truth and the bottom of it, we may still, nothing most likely will happen, but at least we'll know. And we're not going down. We're not going down like that, y'all. We are not. Anyway, so I'm going to go to UVU for sure. I'm going to go to the Cowboy Smokehouse. So that is where Charlie Kirk went. He drove 3 hours from UVU to that restaurant. Supposedly his grandmother lives there. So I'm looking for, I need the name of his grandmother. I need the address, or at least the neighborhood or the area, because I'd like to go over there. So I want to go to the police station as well, because if you guys saw Baron's podcast where he was talking about the 911 call, and that, you know, somebody was hanging out of the car, you know, that 911 call, we know that Charlie was put in sideways. It's weird they didn't. Well, can you, in the SUV, I was trying to think of, could they have put him in a different direction? So they didn't, you know, bend his legs or put him in all the way. I don't know if that's because they were afraid to move him anymore. You know, who knows? That's really odd that they had, you know, they were hanging out of the door of the vehicle. But the thing is, for me, if he took, you know, that impact to his neck and the way the blood was pouring out of there, there's no way Charlie survived even halfway to the way that injury, he would not have lived. And as soon as, when I saw that, I'm like, there's no way, he's gone already. There's no saving you. There's no coming back from that at all. So he definitely would have passed before arriving to the hospital. So to think about, did they have to do something to him to ensure that he didn't make it to the hospital alive? To me, is unlikely because of that wound. There's really nothing they could have done to stop it. Now, they're talking about how he had broken vertebrae, which we all know is the case. But in looking that up, electrocution can cause that because the muscles tighten, and the way he jerked, that was a pretty intense, if that's what it was, that was pretty intense, and that can cause vertebra to shatter. So that could account for that. So I'm not saying it isn't what they're thinking or debunking those theories. I'm just saying it is also possible that didn't happen. So yeah. I really think that's not the case. Oh wow, thank you, Jamie. That's so generous. Thank you. So the likelihood that that they had to do something in addition to whatever was done, I think is unlikely. But electrocution, I'm with that theory that that moment is what shattered the vertebra in his neck. So what I want to ask when I get there, and I want to ask in person, is in part of that call to 911, the police officer says radio silence. I want to know why they were calling for radio silence at that point, and what would the reason be for that. And I want to ask that in person. I could call. I don't want to call because I want them to face me in person, and I want to ask that question. So even if I don't get an officer to speak to, I would at least be able to ask people there in the front, why would they call for radio silence, and why would that be necessary? Because to me, I was like, why are they asking for radio silence at that point? People were saying that they could have broken his neck. I don't think that's the case. I think that it was the electrocution, and the muscle spasms are pretty intense. So if you look at that video of him, and it is so intense that it's popping the ring off and making that flying stick. Like he was pretty. Those muscles were pretty tight, and could have done a lot of damage. So let's see. This is about what happened after Charlie was in the SUV. Yes. So we're talking about, the possibility, the possibility that they had to do something additional to Charlie while he was in the SUV because of the broken vertebra. I don't think so. And electrocution can do that. So those muscles contract pretty hard. And as we can see, he's pretty stiff and he's just tense. And plus he falls over that way. So with those muscles being tense like that, it's possible that electrocution is the thing that broke his neck and shattered those vertebrae. Jamie says, there was no real man that could have broken anything. Yeah. Definitely no real man. Oh, and that video talking about Mikey McCoy. Oh, that just made me sick. Anyway, so I wanted to go over Erika's lies and how she molds as Candace said, no matter, depending on who she's around, she seems to change her personality and views for, which we've seen. And did you guys see the Miss Arizona video that's been going around? So if she changes, this could be the reason why she's acting like conservative wife and all of that, because she molds and she changes like a chameleon depending on who she's around. So that brought up the question for me that I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think she really changed? Do you think it's possible that a person changed? So how she was at the beginning, I'll play the video, to where we see her supposedly being more conservative than Charlie. Did she just appear to change, or did she change because she was with Charlie? So is this just part of her act? So anyway, here, let me see. Let me get off here. Hopefully this will be as big as I would like it to be.
If I could be great at one thing, I wish that I could sit in front of a mirror or a makeup mirror in general and spend more than just 20 minutes to a half hour looking at myself and actually take the time to put my makeup on and do my hair. Because after a while, after that 20-minute mark, I'm like, okay, tinted moisturizer, slab of mascara, lip gloss, out the door. If I could have it that way, it would be perfect. So I might need to work on that. I have respect for the individuals that are in the pornography industry, not because they're degrading women or anything like that, but because that's their field and they are professionals. So I give them credit for being able to have a job and make money and stimulate the economy that way. But I think that there needs to be a way to shield it from the overall public, such as the kids, keep it away from them. But in general, that's a tough one. I really have to say that we live in a free country. So if you want to watch it, turn on your pay-per-view. If not, then why don't you turn on something else that's a little bit more G-rated? Just a thought.
Yeah.
I do think it should be legalized. So just take this miniature journey with me for just a second. And instead of looking at the negative side, let's look at the positive side real quick. After watching several documentaries, I do think it should be legalized because it not only has some remedies to some modern day medicines that we use, but it also
Medicinal.
so we can get some extra stimulus money, just a thought. And on top of that, I think that as our country is evolving and things are happening around the world, we really need to start taking into consideration just some alternatives to things. So I think we need to see both sides of this. So open dialogue, I'm all for it.
Jamie says he's weak. Okay, so that's who she was before Charlie. So did she change because did he change her? Did he change her and make her change her perspective authentically? Or was she pretending? I'm like, okay, is it possible? I know people can change. It takes a lot of work to change, but we do evolve mentally, emotionally, right? Do you guys think that she changed, or was this just an act? So then we come to if she changed and Charlie knew her, he talks about he was a virgin when he met her, which is, there in cases like that, it can be easy to be manipulated by somebody, a beautiful woman, as you'll see him say, being attracted to you. But I wanted to show you this. Think about her mom. I know. No, she's a spy. Yeah. Think about her mom. And she didn't learn. Yeah. So she says she didn't learn things from her mom. That wasn't a good upbringing. And then she says she did. But yeah. So then Charlie Kirk, it seems like he talks about this so much. It makes me wonder, did he know her body count, or did she have him fooled? Did she have him fooled all along? Let's see. Check this one out.
That has 0 as a body count.
Save it for your husband. That's simple. Save it for your husband.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sex sells, babe.
Sex sells.
My mom used to tell me, don't feel like you need to rely on a man.
Someone who's young and just started dating, what is your advice in dating and pursuing marriage as a Christian?
I recommend saving yourself for marriage. Okay? And I'm not here to shame you if you've made a different decision or if you disagree, but you're going to live a better life if you do that. And women have a lot more negotiating power than I think you realize in that situation. You might say, well, none of the men will date me. Well, you're dating the wrong men. Okay? Let me be very honest. And I do recommend, though, there's a real thing that you will hear, is that if you put off dating seriously for the intent of marrying, dating is not a vocation, it's not a hobby, it's not to use time. Dating must lead towards something. So you must date with the intent to marry. So you should not even open yourself up into the dating pool, period, if you can't potentially see, at least at the criteria beginning.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the time, yes, I used to. And especially if you're going to be in the public eye, then you don't want to seem like you're lying or misleading people, you say, I didn't. Yes. Perfect. Great observation. I agree with Jamie.
Spending the rest of your life with that person. When a woman has a high body count, they become less desirable in the eyes of a man.
Okay, here I wanted you guys to see. Now, is that Harpole? Is that Brian over there next to him? So at the point that Charlie asks or says that his wife's beautiful, Brian looks like he gets a little nervous, and you can see him slightly nod yes. Like, watch Brian. So listen to the words, but watch Brian, because I thought this was funny. I might splice the video later on and make it larger so that we can all see it, but just watch.
I don't know if that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just reality.
Right. So on the contrary to that, if a man is a virgin, especially in the generation we live in,
yes.
Why are we not, like, if you're a virgin, are you going to be respected as a man?
I was.
I'm right, but
I was a virgin until I got married.
Right, but think about the majority.
I had a pretty good life and good career. Like
career, yes.
But also, why are you sharing your sexual behavior with people? Like, that's weird.
Hey,
like,
keep
why is it
watching.
their business that you're a virgin
Watch
or
Brian.
not? Like, I mean, that's like, who cares?
I agree with you. I agree.
But
with
like,
you
if you,
100%.
is the argument that you have sex because you might be like called a virgin? Like, yeah, I don't have STDs. Go to hell. Like, okay.
No, I completely agree with you. But like the fact
I
is,
hear the social pressure argument.
Like the social pressure is, it's like if a man is a virgin, especially in this dating market,
Here it comes.
right? Like,
yeah, I think that's unbelievably attractive to women.
I disagree. I
My
don't
wife's
think so.
pretty beautiful.
Right.
Like, she's pretty desirable.
Right.
Would you guys
You see
agree?
him nod?
Yeah, Erika's pretty beautiful. I'll just tell you that if a man or a woman remains a virgin, you become insanely attractive in a time when everyone else has been shared.
Charlie, do you think people should wait until marriage to have?
Ideally, of course, yes. But I'm not here to.
So really, this is a longer video just to get to. Like, let's play this part with Eric.
Or if they're a man, they might be thinking about other women for the rest of your relationship. Okay, everybody, we're having a wonderful hike here in an undisclosed location. Not in Arizona.
Not in Arizona.
It could be in Arizona, though. So a lot of people are asking us about dating advice.
Yes.
So my piece of dating advice for men is, or for all people, save yourself for marriage. Nothing is more attractive than someone that has 0 as a body count. What's your advice?
That's a good one. I would say don't cheat on your spouse. And if you are cheating on your spouse, definitely do not take them to a
Oops. Because I think she was cheating.
Coldplay concert.
Seems like good advice.
But just don't cheat on your spouse.
Do not commit adultery.
Correct.
Also, if you're a man, be interesting. Point
so
towards something
cringy.
good. Leave a comment.
If
God
you're a
bless
woman,
you.
be interesting too. Just be interesting.
Okay, so there's that. So he's obviously often, watch this. I do some close-ups of her face. So it looks, so this is what made me ask the question too, because it looks like she's trying to please him.
To navigate the pressures of hookup culture on a college campus, where they feel pressured that if they
I
don't
have some
get
close-ups of her
into,
face coming.
let's just say, sexual situations with a male counterpart, then they will not be able to find a boyfriend or a husband.
He's not meant to be with you. Like, he needs to honor your purity. Save it for your husband. That's simple. Save it for your husband. Who is more conservative and why?
Erika.
Yes.
You guys have seen this
By
most
far.
likely.
Not even close. I am a moderate.
So she's, you know,
Great
saying,
My grandparents
He's-
were.
he's saying how much more conservative
Didn't think
she
it was
is.
possible.
And we saw that she wasn't conservative when she was interviewing for Miss Arizona. So let's look at this.
Can relate a lot to the Manhattan mindset of a lot of young women where it's career oriented. Because my mom used to tell me, don't feel like you need to rely on a man for life and work. And so my mindset, my healthy marriage example was my grandparents. But my mindset was career, career, career. When I met Charlie, the only reason I sat down with him because I thought it was a consulting position for work. I did not date in Manhattan. I saw the pits of hell of the dating pool through my roommates, and I was not touching that with any.
So that's the thing, as I was thinking, is this shade? Like, he knows, like, does he know that, you know, she wasn't a virgin? And he's like, just like saying, because it seems like an awful lot in her face. Libras, are they passive aggressive? Can they be passive aggressive, Mark? Is that a dark side of the Libra personality? Far more far. She burns my eyes. Okay.
Longest pole you can imagine. I stayed far away from the dating pool in Manhattan. So I viewed it.
So here she specifies that she stayed away from the dating pool. Instead of saying she didn't date, she said she stayed away from the dating pool in Manhattan. So I feel like she's subtly trying to, well, not so subtly to us, trying to correct other snippets of her saying that she didn't date.
As obviously the job interview that it was supposed to be. And the Lord knew. Charlie, in some way, similar to how, you know, he sees things in a lot of people, in some way, beautifully saved me from a huge mistake of putting career over family and career over husband, because it's easy to do when,
until now,
as a female, when you see bright lights, big city, yeah. But the Lord used him. The Lord used him for me.
How long did
Bye, Smarty.
it take you to fall in love with him?
That's the funny thing is it's so interesting because
she always struggles answering this question.
When we were sitting there, I fell in love with how brilliant he was to be able to articulate what he believed in. And when he said, I'm not going to hire you, I'm going to date you, I knew that was the Lord, because there were so many times where I said, my future husband that's out there, he will literally, it will be, the only reason why I look up is because the Lord says to look up, and that was something to look up to when someone's like,
She doesn't ever really answer the question about falling in love with Charlie.
I'm going to date you. And so but honestly, it was the constant consistency of, I'm here for you. You know, the little texts in the morning, and then it just continued to grow in a beautiful way.
Save yourself from
She fell in love with him over time initially because of how he spoke publicly, and then because of how he stayed around all those times. Anyway, so that was the thing, because that's what the questions I've been asking myself all along. Like, is she a pawn or is she an orchestrator? And if she was a liar and now she's embarrassed and she's like, oh, I can't, like, I'm just going to pretend like I didn't lie and all this, then did she truly change? Yeah. So, and it does feel like he's continually, if Charlie knows, then and it sounds like Mark is saying that's pretty on point for a Libra type personality to throw shade and to be passive aggressive in that way. Let's see, what did you say, Jeff? She gets lost in her thoughts and loses track of the question. Probably that's what happens when you're lying, I guess. Yeah, it does seem like that. And but when somebody asks you when you fell in love, I feel like most people can go, this is when I fell in love. This is how when it happened. And she always struggles with that question, among others. So anyway, I wanted to, as far as her being programmed, I wanted to revisit this video of her with Barry Weiss, because it looks like she's following instruction of what they've told her, how they wanted her to react. And Barry is like goading her and leading her to this and telling her what's going on, more than it seems like Erika's telling herself what's going on. Anyway, okay, let's go. I have to get us to that point. What is there's a minute marker 32. Let me get us here. So just at this point of where she goes to when she really gets Erika to say stop. 32:45. Here we go. Let's gotta remove that first. Okay, you guys remember. So watch this and watch how it seems like she's just following more direction than leading this whole thing.
Growing a human inside of me, my baby.
Okay, this I want to hit on too. So when she was pregnant, she didn't like the way she looked when she was pregnant. It's not, I don't believe it was because it's so sacred. I think she was embarrassed because she didn't like people to see her big.
The world that Charlie and I live in is very toxic at times. Yeah. And when you are growing a beautiful child in you, I don't want to be around it. I want to enjoy eating my In-N-Out burger and my hot fudge sundae. That's what I want to do. I'm pregnant and I have 9 months to own it. You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane while I am wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake? No, I'm not. So if you want to go through my flight log, go right ahead. It's very boring. You say I was here on this date. I have a photo in my phone to prove that I actually was in the hospital because I was having contractions. So game on.
Let's see.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
So, to me, it just looks like, I know we've all seen this, or most of us have seen this, but it just looks like they are leading her to how they want her to answer. And so again, that's one of the reasons I was questioning. So is she the orchestrator or is she a pawn? I mean, she could be both. She could be both, right? Oh, brother, paid defense operative in this interview. Yeah. Okay. So then after, if you guys didn't see Barron's podcast, he had a good one where he talked about the website being built, Vance Kirk 2028, that website was built, 3 days after Charlie's death. Let me share this. I wonder if I have to. Yeah. Vance Kirk 2028. This website was created. We don't know who created the website, but Barron had said that they found it was created on the 13th and Charlie Kirk was dead on the 10th. So, which I'm not surprised. Erika came out and said they wanted a Vance ticket, but I'm not surprised that Erika was part of that whole plan. And they seeded it from the beginning.
Sure. Down the road.
Like this. Whoop.
Yeah, you know,
Hold
it's
up.
funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, man, Erika could be bigger and better than me at almost everything. We laugh all the time about it because people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday. And so it's a beautiful thing. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
Yeah. Anyways, that was the plan, and I think she's both. Every day that goes by, I just really am more convinced that she's not a pawn, but that I've kept my mind open to see evidence that she is. So, anyways, hopefully the trip to Utah will give us some good information, and we'll see. I'll see about going live when I'm there, and maybe I can show my husband, because it'll be there Friday and over the weekend. So if I can show my husband how to use this software, he might be able to assist us with some lives and patch me in, so that we can, we can do that. Anyway, if you guys didn't catch, do you guys follow Danks? It's on YouTube. He is saying that he thinks it's possible that Zach from Wolves and Finance is a paid shill. Go check it out. That's an interesting turn of events I did not expect from him. But I want to say, when he came out and he was questioning if Charlie was Candace's handler, it was in the back of my head if he was not an operative in some way, because it just seemed a little bit off to me. It seemed a little bit off. It was an interesting question to ask, because, that could have always been a possibility. But as I said in my past lives, I think it was supposed to be both of them. Anyways, yeah, the Wolves. And so it's Danks on YouTube. He's also on X. Go take a look. I don't have any of that video, but what was this? I want to see what this is, because I had this to play for you guys and I don't remember what it was. What was this supposed to be?
Her future.
Oh, it was that. Okay. Never mind. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you. And we will see you tomorrow, and we'll see you soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
This is a better life. From scars to stars, from pain to bulletproof, Teresa better life. A better life with you. Talking news, pop culture life, love and scandal, heart to heart. Teresa better life. Real is where the reset starts. No playing small. We rise, we fall. We laugh, we do it all. A better life is one brave call. Teresa better life. Let's build a better life. Let's build a better life. A better life. Teresa better life.